Good morning, everyone. I want to start today with a simple question. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the tension in the air? Maybe there was an argument before you got there, or maybe you've seen a conflict unfold at school, at work, or even in your own family. It's in these moments that we have a choice. We can add fuel to the fire, or we can be peacemakers. You see, being a peacemaker is not about avoiding conflict or letting people walk all over you. No, it's about having the strength to bring calm in the midst of chaos. It's about choosing understanding over judgment, kindness over anger, and wisdom over impulse. Peace takes strength. Some people think being a peacemaker means being weak, but let me tell you something. It takes strength to hold your tongue when you want to lash out. It takes courage to forgive when someone has wronged you. The Bible says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." That means when you choose peace, you are reflecting the very heart of God. Your words have power. Think about this. Words can either build someone up or tear them down. Have you ever said something in anger and immediately regretted it? Our words shape the atmosphere around us. If we want peace in our homes, in our friendships, in our schools, then we have to be intentional with our words. Instead of saying, "You always do this," try saying, "I understand how you feel, but let's talk about a solution." Instead of holding on to grudges, choose to speak words of healing, because when we speak life, we create peace. Forgiveness brings freedom. Now, I know forgiveness is hard. Sometimes the people who hurt us don't even say sorry. But let me remind you, forgiveness isn't just about them. It's about you. When you forgive, you free yourself from the burden of bitterness. And when you let go, you make room for peace to enter your heart. I heard a story about a woman who had every reason to be angry. She was hurt deeply by someone she trusted. But instead of holding on to that pain, she chose to forgive. She chose peace over resentment. And today she's living a life full of joy and purpose. That's the power of peacemaking. Peacemaking starts with you. So how do we bring peace into our everyday lives? It starts with small choices. When someone offends you, pause before reacting. When you see a disagreement, be the voice of wisdom. When someone is struggling, offer them kindness. At home, instead of arguing, seek to understand. At school, instead of gossiping, choose to encourage. At work, instead of fueling negativity, be a light that brings unity. The reward of peace, my friends, being a peacemaker isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. When you live a life of peace, you will experience joy, favor, and deeper relationships. You will be known as someone people can trust, someone who brings love wherever they go. So today, I encourage you, be a peacemaker. Let your words bring healing. Let your actions create unity, and watch how your life and the lives of those around you begin to change for the better. Thank you, and may you walk in peace every single day. Would you like any refinements to better fit your audience? Being a peacemaker is not just about avoiding conflict or keeping quiet in difficult situations. It is about intentionally choosing to bring peace, healing, and understanding wherever you go. Imagine walking into a room where people are upset. Voices are raised and emotions are high. In that moment, you have a choice. You can add to the tension, or you can be the person who calms the storm. Peacemakers are not passive. They are active agents of harmony who influence their surroundings for the better. True peace does not come from ignoring problems or pretending that conflicts do not exist. It comes from addressing issues with wisdom, patience, and love. Peacemakers have a mindset that seeks resolution rather than division. They do not fuel arguments with harsh words or react impulsively to negativity. Instead, they pause, assess the situation, and respond in a way that promotes understanding. They choose their words carefully, knowing that words have the power to heal or hurt, to bring unity or create division. It takes strength to be a peacemaker because it often requires going against our natural instincts. When someone offends us, our first reaction may be to defend ourselves, retaliate, or prove that we are right. But a peacemaker understands that winning an argument is not as important as maintaining a relationship. They focus on the bigger picture, building bridges rather than walls. They listen more than they speak and seek to understand before being understood. One of the most powerful ways to be a peacemaker is through kindness. Even in the face of hostility, a peacemaker chooses compassion over anger. They do not let negative situations change who they are. Instead, they remain steady, offering a calming presence in moments of chaos. Their ability to remain peaceful influences those around them, helping to de-escalate conflicts and create an environment where people feel safe and respected. A great example of peacemaking is found in history in leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., and Mother Teresa. These individuals faced immense opposition, yet they chose peace over violence. They understood that real change does not come from force, but from love, patience, and unwavering commitment to unity. They demonstrated that being a peacemaker does not mean being silent. It means speaking truth with wisdom, standing up for justice with grace, and seeking solutions that benefit everyone. In daily life, being a peacemaker can be as simple as choosing not to spread gossip, standing up for someone being mistreated, or diffusing a tense situation with a kind word. It can mean being the person who encourages reconciliation between friends or family members. It can also mean controlling your own emotions and reactions, making sure that your words and actions reflect a heart of peace rather than conflict. The world needs more peacemakers, people who bring healing instead of hurt, who unify rather than divide, who choose love over hatred. When you commit to being a peacemaker, you not only improve your own life, but you also inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of peace and positivity. Many people mistakenly believe that strength is shown through dominance, power, or the ability to win arguments. But true strength is demonstrated through the ability to bring peace in situations of tension and conflict. Being a peacemaker does not mean avoiding difficult conversations or allowing others to take advantage of you. It means having the wisdom and self-control to handle conflicts with grace and understanding. It requires choosing peace, even when everything around you is pulling you toward anger, division, or retaliation. When faced with conflict, our natural instinct is often to fight back or prove a point. We feel the urge to be right, to defend ourselves, or to make sure the other person knows they were wrong. But the strongest individuals are those who can step back, see the bigger picture, and choose words and actions that bring resolution instead of division. Peacemakers understand that strength is not about overpowering others, but about maintaining self-control and responding with wisdom. History has shown us that some of the most influential figures were peacemakers. Leaders like Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King Jr. could have chosen violence in response to injustice, but they knew that true strength came from pursuing peace. Their ability to remain calm and composed in the face of oppression inspired millions and created lasting change. Their example teaches us that being a peacemaker is not about weakness. It is about having the courage to stand firm in peace when the world around you chooses conflict. In everyday life, the strength of peace over conflict can be seen in how we handle disagreements. Whether in a workplace, school, or home, conflicts are bound to happen. But those who can remain calm, listen carefully, and respond thoughtfully are the ones who gain respect and trust. When people see that you are not easily shaken, that you do not let anger control you, they are more likely to follow your lead. Your ability to bring peace can influence those around you, creating an environment where people feel safe and valued. Another way peace is stronger than conflict is in its long-term impact. Anger, harsh words, and retaliation may feel satisfying in the moment, but they often lead to broken relationships, regret, and ongoing tension. On the other hand, choosing peace leads to deeper connections, mutual respect, and an atmosphere of cooperation. When you approach situations with a mindset of peace, you pave the way for understanding and growth rather than bitterness and resentment. Being a peacemaker also requires emotional intelligence. It means recognizing your own emotions and choosing not to react impulsively. It means knowing when to walk away from an argument, when to offer a kind word instead of a harsh one, and when to listen instead of speaking. It takes more strength to control your emotions than to let them control you. A peaceful person is not someone who avoids all confrontation, but someone who knows how to approach it with wisdom and patience. The world needs more people who are willing to choose peace over conflict, to build bridges instead of walls, and to show that true strength is found in love, kindness, and understanding. Words are one of the most powerful tools we have. They can build up or tear down, heal or hurt, bring peace or create conflict. Every day we use words to communicate our thoughts, feelings, and opinions, but we often underestimate the impact they have on the people around us. A single sentence can change the atmosphere of a room. A kind word can bring comfort, while a harsh word can stir up anger. The way we choose to use our words determines whether we are peacemakers or sources of division. When conflict arises, it is easy to react emotionally and say things that escalate the situation. In moments of frustration, words can slip out that we later regret. But a peacemaker understands that words have weight, and once spoken, they cannot be taken back. Instead of speaking out of anger, they take a moment to pause and choose their words carefully. They use their voice not to tear others down, but to bring understanding and reconciliation. Many conflicts start simply because of misunderstandings in communication. A careless tone, an assumption, or an unkind remark can lead to hurt feelings and resentment. But those who are intentional about their words can diffuse tension before it escalates. Instead of saying something that fuels the fire, they speak in a way that calms emotions and promotes a solution. They ask questions, listen actively, and use words that show respect and empathy. This small but powerful choice creates an environment where people feel heard and valued. Think about a time when someone spoke words of encouragement to you. Maybe it was a teacher who believed in you, a friend who supported you, or a family member who reassured you in a difficult moment. Those words likely had a lasting impact on you. Just as words can uplift, they can also cause deep wounds. Hurtful words can stay in a person's mind for years, affecting their confidence and self-worth. This is why it is so important to be mindful of how we speak, especially in moments of tension. Peacemakers do not just avoid harmful words, they actively speak words of peace. They bring calm to arguments by using phrases like, "I understand how you feel," or "let's work through this together." They encourage instead of criticize, using words that build bridges rather than create walls. They choose to speak life into situations, offering hope and kindness, even when it is difficult. The way we speak not only affects others, but also shapes the environment we live in. A home filled with uplifting words is a place of love and security. A workplace where people communicate with respect is more productive and positive. A school where students encourage one another is a place where people thrive. By being mindful of our words, we have the power to create peace in every space we enter. Peacemaking begins with small choices, and words are one of the most important tools we have. When we choose to speak with kindness, wisdom, and understanding, we create an atmosphere where peace can flourish. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful acts a person can choose, yet it is also one of the most difficult. When someone wrongs us, our natural reaction is often to hold on to the hurt, to replay the offense in our minds, and to wait for justice or an apology. But the truth is, holding on to unforgiveness does not harm the other person nearly as much as it harms us. It keeps us trapped in a cycle of pain, anger, and resentment. A peacemaker understands that forgiveness is not just a gift to the person who has wronged them, it is a gift to themselves, bringing freedom and inner peace. Many people misunderstand forgiveness, thinking that it means excusing bad behavior or pretending that nothing happened. But forgiveness is not about denying the hurt or acting as if the wrongdoing was acceptable. It is about choosing to release the burden of anger so that it no longer controls our thoughts and emotions. It is deciding that the past will not dictate our future and that we will not allow bitterness to steal our joy. A peacemaker recognizes that true peace can never exist in a heart that is filled with resentment. Letting go of anger is not always easy, especially when the offense is deep. Sometimes the pain feels too fresh and the idea of forgiving seems impossible. But carrying anger is like holding a heavy weight. It drains energy, clouds judgment, and prevents growth. Peacemakers understand that the longer they hold on to unforgiveness, the more it affects their own well-being. They choose to forgive not because the other person necessarily deserves it, but because they themselves deserve to live in peace. There are countless examples of people who have found healing through forgiveness. Many who have suffered betrayals, injustices, or painful losses have chosen to let go of their bitterness, not because it was easy, but because they understood that unforgiveness would only keep them stuck in their pain. There are people who have forgiven those who hurt them deeply, whether it be a friend, a family member, or even a stranger, and in doing so, they have found peace in their own hearts. Their stories remind us that forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of incredible strength. Forgiving someone does not always mean that trust is immediately restored or that the relationship will go back to the way it was. Sometimes boundaries still need to be in place. But a peacemaker does not allow the past to keep them from experiencing joy in the present. They make the conscious decision to release their grip on resentment, knowing that it is the only way to fully heal. The role of forgiveness in peacemaking is crucial because lasting peace cannot exist where anger and bitterness are constantly resurfacing. True peace is found in letting go, in freeing oneself from the burden of past wounds, and in choosing to move forward with love, grace, and wisdom. When we embrace forgiveness, we not only bring peace to our own lives, but also set an example for those around us, showing that healing is always possible. Being a peacemaker is not just about resolving conflicts on a large scale. It is about making small, intentional choices every day to create an environment of harmony and understanding. Peace is something that starts within and extends to the world around us. It is in the way we treat people, how we respond to difficult situations. A true peacemaker does not wait for others to change, but instead takes the first step in creating a culture of peace through their own actions. One of the most important aspects of being a peacemaker in daily life is practicing patience and self-control. Conflicts often arise in moments of frustration when emotions are running high, whether it is a disagreement with a friend, a misunderstanding at work, or a stressful situation at home. How we respond makes all the difference. Peacemakers take a moment to breathe before reacting. Instead of letting anger dictate their words, they choose to approach situations with calmness and wisdom. By doing so, they prevent small problems from turning into major conflicts. Another key part of peacemaking is learning to listen more than we speak. Many conflicts escalate because people feel unheard or misunderstood. Peacemakers take the time to truly listen, not just to respond, but to understand. They ask questions, seek clarity, and make others feel valued. When people feel heard, they are more likely to let go of hostility and work towards a resolution. Peacemakers know that listening is one of the most powerful ways to diffuse tension and build stronger relationships. Acts of kindness and respect also play a huge role in creating peace in everyday life. A simple smile, a kind word, or a small gesture of appreciation can shift the mood of an entire room. Peacemakers look for opportunities to uplift those around them. They choose to compliment instead of criticize, encourage instead of judge, and show compassion even in difficult situations. Their presence brings comfort and reassurance, making others feel safe and valued. Peacemakers also know when to walk away from negativity. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every argument needs a response. Sometimes the best way to create peace is to remove yourself from toxic situations and refuse to engage in unnecessary drama. Peacemakers choose their battles wisely, focusing their energy on what truly matters instead of getting caught up in minor disagreements. In families, peacemaking can mean being the one who bridges the gap between relatives in conflict, encouraging forgiveness, and promoting unity. In friendships, it can mean avoiding gossip and instead being someone who builds trust and loyalty. In the workplace, it can mean handling disagreements professionally, being cooperative, and treating coworkers with respect. Even in everyday interactions with strangers, a peacemaker's attitude of kindness and patience can set a powerful example. Every choice we make has the potential to either bring more peace or create more division. When we commit to being peacemakers, we contribute to a world that is more understanding, more compassionate, and more united. The change begins with us in the small choices we make every single day. The world is often filled with division, misunderstanding, and conflict, but one of the most powerful ways to create positive change is by leading by example. A true peacemaker does not just talk about peace, they live it out in their daily actions, inspiring others to do the same. Instead of waiting for others to change, they take the first step, showing through their words, choices, and behavior what it means to be a person of peace. Leading by example means demonstrating patience in difficult situations. When others are quick to anger or frustration, a peacemaker remains calm and composed. Their presence alone can bring a sense of stability to a tense environment. Whether it is in a disagreement at home, a conflict in the workplace, or an argument among friends, a peacemaker chooses to set the tone with understanding and wisdom rather than reacting emotionally. They show that peace is not just an idea, but a way of life. People are more influenced by actions than words. It is easy to talk about kindness, forgiveness, and respect, but living it out consistently is what truly makes an impact. When others see someone responding to criticism with grace, handling conflict with maturity, or choosing to speak kindly even when it is difficult, they take notice. Over time, this kind of behavior encourages others to follow the same path. A peacemaker's actions serve as a quiet yet powerful reminder that there is a better way to handle conflict and build relationships. A key part of leading by example is treating everyone with dignity and respect. Peacemakers do not just bring peace in situations that benefit them. They seek peace for all people. They make the effort to listen to different perspectives, understand others' struggles, and promote unity instead of division. Even when they disagree with someone, they communicate in a way that is respectful and constructive. They understand that every person deserves to be treated with kindness, regardless of differences in opinion, background, or beliefs. Leading with peace also means being someone who encourages reconciliation. When conflicts arise between others, a peacemaker does not add to the division. Instead, they act as a bridge, helping people find common ground and resolve their differences. They remind others that relationships are more important than pride or proving a point. Their presence brings healing to broken relationships and inspires those around them to seek solutions instead of holding on to resentment. The impact of a peacemaker's example goes beyond individual relationships. It creates a ripple effect. A person who consistently chooses peace influences their family, friends, and community. Their behavior can shift the atmosphere in a home, transform the culture in a workplace, and even inspire broader social change. True leadership is not about control or authority, but about inspiring others through action. Being a peacemaker is not always easy, but the example set by one person has the power to encourage many. By choosing peace, patience, and kindness in everyday situations, a peacemaker shows the world a better way, proving that peace is not just an idea, it is a choice that can change lives. Being a peacemaker is a choice that requires strength, wisdom, and intentionality. It is not about avoiding conflict, but about handling it with grace, understanding, and a heart for resolution. True peace does not come from forcing our opinions or proving we are right. It comes from choosing love over anger, forgiveness over resentment, and kindness over hostility. It means using our words to uplift rather than tear down, leading by example, and striving to create an environment where others feel valued and heard. Each of us has the power to bring peace into our homes, schools, workplaces, and communities. It starts with the small, everyday choices we make: choosing patience in a moment of frustration, listening when others need to be heard, and being the first to seek reconciliation. When we embrace the role of a peacemaker, we not only improve our own lives, but also inspire those around us to do the same. The world is in desperate need of peacemakers, people who stand for unity rather than division, healing rather than harm. When we commit to being those people, we create a ripple effect of positivity that extends far beyond what we can see. Peace is not just the absence of conflict, it is the presence of love, understanding, and mutual respect. And it starts with us. Let us be the ones who bring peace wherever we go,